All right, welcome everyone. Can you hear me? All right, well, welcome to the last day of Ignite, Friday morning. Congratulations, y'all made it to a session. So, my name is Christian Montoya. I am a program manager on the remote desktop services team. And so today, we'll be talking about the improvements to remote desktop services in Windows Server 2019. So, today's agenda, a couple items. First and foremost, I want to kind of hit the elephant in the room, just talk about that a little bit. Second, just talk about RDS and how we progressed since 2012 R2 to really make Azure a premier platform for RDS. Not the only, but the premier. Talk about all the enhancements we made in our end user experience in our clients, and show you how our protocol is just best leveraged through our remote desktop clients on all our platforms. And then last, just some of the RDS HM improvements we made in 2019. So, first and foremost, just thought I'd tackle this. Remote desktop services 2019, or Windows Virtual Desktop, how do they relate? So, you would use Windows Virtual Desktop if you want Microsoft to manage that brokering infrastructure, and you just want to worry about the VMs, your users, and that management, but let us handle all the gateway connections, the Azure, MFA, and all that whatnot. You also might want to use Windows Virtual Desktop if you want the new Windows 10 Enterprise multi-session capabilities. An Azure-only experience only provided through the Windows Virtual Desktop service, as well as Windows 7 extended support that's free. If you don't want to pay an arm and a leg or 2 arms and 2 legs to do that on your own hardware or on-prem. Office 365 Pro Plus. We can tackle more licensing questions at the end or offline, but Remote Desktop Services 2019 will support Office 2019. The new service being a semi-annual release, or the Windows 10 being a semi-annual release, will support Office 365 Pro Plus. But how about 2019? If you want the full end-to-end control, this is all in your environment. Again, on-prem, private data center, or Azure. It's all happening where you can see it. Also, if you already have existing RDS infrastructure, they just want to go ahead and update. Again, we have great stuff coming. So this presentation is for. If you want to just upgrade that RDS, then this is also a great platform for that. And again, depending on where you are, if you have a burst to cloud scenario or a hybrid scenario, we do have a session later on this morning for that. But again, RDS 2019, it fits your needs and it's pretty flexible. So again, how did we get to 2019? How do we get to the different integrations that we and all the investments we made? First off, this is huge. I remember when I first started at Microsoft, I was barely trying to get that to work in Azure, RDS. But look at it, it's grown so much. This is just a single year. So we went 230%. We contribute, I think 10% or almost 10% of Azure's compute hours. So that's the gateways, those are the brokers, but obviously most important are the session hosts. But we contribute so much to Azure, and that's why we're so invested here. So yeah, back in 2012 R2, we just wanted to get this running. We, we had certain pitfalls. We had to work with the cloud services teams. We had to make sure that our gateway worked with the whole Azure, the ASM model, that you could actually make connections through. We also had to get the domain up there. And so we started working with teams because none of this was really cloud. You had to bring your VMs. So if you want high availability, you had to make an entire SQL Server cluster. If you were born in the cloud organization, you had to still somehow have your own Active Directory in a VM. So for 2016, we worked with those teams, and we made sure they worked with RDS and vice versa. So instead of having to stand up your entire SQL Server cluster, just use Azure SQL DB. If you are a born-in-the-cloud solution, use Azure Domain Services. Not that you can't do the other stuff. You can still have everything on VMs, but we figured this is easier. Azure has these as services. They have their uptime reliability, so why not? As you notice, our infrastructure stays the same, but obviously we made upgrades to integrate. We also did introduce our web client, as you saw from the nifty transition. So we released that this summer, and it's awesome. But we wanted to go a step further with 2019. And we want to make sure that you can use the cloud for your credential management as well. So Azure Key Vault should be your credential store. And in a second, I will show you how you can use that as your credential store. But again, it's a discussion. It's a back and forth. We give so much to Azure. Azure gives back to us. And there's a reason we drive about 10% of their compute. So for folks that are familiar with Azure Key Vault, again, your secret certificate store. And ultimately, all you do is, if you register through Azure, you can create your certificates that way. But you can upload them, store them there, reference them in any sort of automation, in your web apps, in our case, in VMs. So when you create your VMs, yeah, you just reference a certificate. It gets installed. And then all you have to do is run our command saying, yep, that's the certificate I want. So I'll just show you a little bit of Azure Key Vault for those that are maybe newer to Azure, not quite as familiar. So here is my Azure portal. I'll go ahead and go to my 2019 resource group. And when this loads, you'll see the rest of the resources I have. You'll see my virtual machines on disk with availability sets, all the best practices. What we'll see here is our Key Vault. And again, it can be actual certificates. It could just be other secrets that you might like to keep. But when I go here, you'll notice I do have a couple certificates here. My desktops for my domain, and also, darn. Well, Azure Key Vault's pretty secure. If you noticed, again, I can't access here because you can actually set up IP firewalls similar to SQL Server. So unfortunately, I didn't get the IP address of this exact, conference center on this specific Wi-Fi. But ultimately, you'll see that I had two certificates. It was the My Apps for myapps.montoyac.net, or also my desktops.montoyac.net. The last thing that also keeps Azure Key Vault secure is you personally have to enable the setting for ARM templates to reference it, for other resources on the virtual network to reference it. So you can lock it down as much as you need. The other stuff we did in 2019 was really continue to invest in licensing. No matter which desktop virtualization solution you have, if you're using our session host, you're also using our licensing server. So the first thing we did is we knew that a huge part of our growth in Azure was because, one, we have these hosting partners that want to host solutions for multiple people and multiple organizations. Or as an enterprise, if you do have kind of different domains or just different sub-organizations, you might need the flexibility where maybe your license server, again, is only tied to one domain, but you really do want to have that cross-domain functionality. In 2019, it's actually the session hosts that are going to be the runners to say, yes, I got this user cal, and they're the ones that go and talk to the domain. So it frees up the license server, allows you to be a little bit more flexible, and that way you can, again, you can have a little bit more flexibility in deployments. What we have in preview in this release is the true high availability of our license server. You might have remembered in the past, we said split up your CALs across multiple license servers. You gave a list of license servers so your session host would go in order. Again, what we have in preview right now is actually using a SQL database as a backend. So your license servers have a central repo to access. And then that way, again, you get the flexibility of the multiple domains. And then you also get the flexibility of having that SQL database backend. Again, similar to what we did with the connection broker and having that the Azure SQL database. Same thing with license server. So we want to continue getting more usage, getting those higher density scenarios. But ultimately, right now, it's a pretty solid active passive mode. But again, in preview, we do want to get some usage. And as we go to the future releases of server, we're going to really unlock this capability. And the last thing, it's not quite license server, but it's licensing. We are working with our CSP program to make sure that you, as CSP partners, for all those in the room, can actually have a really successful and easy way to resell to the customers. Since sales are a little tricky, sometimes the volume licensing is tricky, so we're working on generating a program, so stay tuned for that. And as I mentioned, again, Azure is a premier platform for this. So we had ARM templates, and we heavily invested in ARM templates in RDS 2016. And it is our plan to continue to update these for 2019. We have a backlog of bugs, issues, and things we just want to upgrade and manage this. Just make sure we're current. And so when 2019 goes live, we still plan on updating those. So for those that haven't been there before, I just wanted to give a brief shout out to where these will be. So we have our own repo as well in RDS templates. So where we have published, again, 2016, and then we'll continue to make pull requests. Again, if you're in the community and you want to contribute, go ahead. We review these, and we want, again, to leverage the latest Azure technologies and make these easier for yourself. And also, if you help us, make it easier for others to really just get started with RDS on Azure. Okay, so we did the admin stuff. That's cool, that's nice. But the end user stuff is a lot more fun. So in terms of end user, a couple key ingredients here. I mentioned we released our web client for 2016, and we continue making it work for 2019. So I want to show you that. Wanted to update you on our GPU virtualization story as we move forward with Windows Server 2019 in the future. And then RDP improvements. The great thing with RDP is that it's part of our Windows OS. And our Windows OS is really the base level for any of the releases we have. Semi-annual, long-term, server, client. So all the stuff I'm showing you, I'll be showing on Windows Server 2019 RDSH, but the same improvements are carrying over to Windows 10 1809. So let's take another look at that web client. How many of you in the audience have already seen or used the web client for 2016? Okay. So let's go back here. So I'm going to launch the web client from here. Again, there's my desktops. So again, you couldn't see the actual certificate, but there's my URL, publicly signed certificate. And as this loads, again, that's actually a nice modern experience. That way you don't get the kind of legacy login that you had already web. So here's our client. I have a couple of my resources here. I have my Azure desktop, and I have my Microsoft tools. So if I launch my Azure desktop, I would come back here expecting to have to sign in again, but it looks like I don't have to, because we actually have single sign-on. Isn't that cool? So again, as part of the RD Web, the web client, we can do all these optimizations. This is, again, your control, your network. This is your domain. So we're able to have that single sign-on experience and have that modern flow. And again, for those that aren't as familiar with this web client, or maybe we didn't have time to show you at our booth this week, here's the client. You have a little task switcher at the top. If you had multiple desktops, multiple apps, you'll see here I landed actually on our docs page. Gonna do a little shout out to that. And one of the cool things that we've done with the web client is really help you with printing. So the web client is a little bit limited in what it can do and what it can redirect in terms of your local device. But one thing we've done with printing is that we actually will create a PDF and put it in the downloads folder of your browser. So especially if you're traveling, going to Rosen Center and you print something out real fast, just print it out, PDF, local, and then you don't have to deal with all the messy network stuff. So as you see, we have our own little remote desktop printer. You'll see a little notification up here saying the print job started. And then this is my local edge. So I can actually open it, carry it around, save it to my desktop, and then print it out when I get back to the office in Redmond. So just investing in all those smaller details that kind of makes or breaks an end user experience, that's stuff that we're looking at. And so as part of Windows RDSH, you'll know that GPU virtualization, graphic acceleration, a big part of the end user experience. Some of you might have seen this lovely triangle before. For us, it's a great way to visualize the amount of users across the amount of graphic acceleration they might need. So at the bottom, we have knowledge workers, task workers, frontline workers, people that don't really do too much. They're not resource intensive when they're on their session. You have the folks at the opposite end, the power users, designers, engineers, folks that need those CAD apps, MATLAB, all that fun stuff. And then you have the professional users, the ones in the middle. More and more, a lot of the standard applications that you see today are requiring graphic acceleration. You go to PowerPoint, and you get or Office and PowerPoint uses your GPU acceleration to make the transitions seamless. And then also within Excel, if you're going to do any computations. So we have this wide span of scenarios, but as you see, you only have a small amount of power users, a wider base of frontline information, knowledge task workers, and in the middle you have a mix of both. It's just a mix of both. And so kind of showing the progression of our GPU virtualization story. In 2012 R2, we had RemoteFX vGPU. That way we can kind of democratize the GPU that you had on the host. Had DirectX 11. You can read the details. Again, we decided to continue iterating in 2016. So iterate on the RemoteFX vGPU, but we also introduced discrete device assignment. Discrete device assignment means that whatever host you have, you can pass through a card to the guest OS. It sees it as native, it uses it as native, So you get the full API support, and you get whatever you would really expect out of using that graphics card. Same going forward with 2019. So we have continued to make investments in DDA to really better use the graphics. And then along with the protocol and enhancements that I'll kind of get to later, it just does enhance the entire end-to-end solution of DDA. And fun fact for those that aren't as familiar with Azure, DDA is how you get your graphics cards and NVCU's VMs. Pass it on through the guest OS. So we use what we build. So a little bit more of the side-by-side of DDA, discrete device assignment, and remote effects. Discrete device assignment is our primary story going forward. We want to leverage the graphics cards, leverage the drivers that our partners are building, because you get the full compatibility, you get their expertise with their cards. Makes sense. As part of that, we are continuing to investigate the GPU partitioning. So splitting up a card into actually smaller chunks. That way, you have a little bit more control over which users, which sessions get more power when they are in a multi-session environment. So we're still evaluating that. And so we'll have more details on that to come. In terms of remote effects, it actually is deprecated in 2019. So if you're coming from 2016, you upgrade 2019, you'll still be able to use it on your existing Hyper-V nodes or VMs. But you won't really be able to if you do a clean install. The guidance is that you'll most likely upgrade, take some time, and then in that story, we're investing in the technologies and with our partners with GPU partitioning. Again, we want to make sure that you're getting that best in-class graphics acceleration. And for us, it's mostly our vendors that make the cards and make the drivers. And so we want to elevate that. And we, as Microsoft, want to continue investing in that protocol. That way, you get the protocol, you get the graphics, and end-to-end, your users get the best experience. So stay tuned on the GPU partitioning. So let's talk about RDP now. Again, just by making updates in the basic protocol, RDP, I think 10.5 now, video playback will default to use the hardware acceleration if it's there. And basically through better classification of images, video, text, you get a better experience if you're moving a window around, if you're streaming something, and maybe you're toggling that window through different monitors. So you'll get a better experience that way. And we also made investments in adapting to 4K monitor solutions. We know that the world is moving to 4K devices, and we want to make sure that even if you do have all those pixels display, that it's not just eating up all your bandwidth, that you do get a good experience, especially if you're streaming videos or something. So I have a couple charts just at the bottom of some of the testing we did. The highlights is just the encoding and the actual frame rates you get as you experience it. So because the encoding time is a lot smaller because you're processing a little bit less, you are able to get really just a better experience. So especially just downsampling, I guess only the small bits that we do. You get that better experience, but you also still get not the high quality of the 4K, but you still get that solid experience for what you need to do as an end user. Also in RDP, the one I'm most excited about is this high-level redirection of cameras. So our cameras used to use USB redirection. And so we had to just push all that traffic through. But in the protocol now, we're better able to identify cameras, and then we can optimize the behavior with that selection. So yeah, in that screenshot, you'll see there's a remote session with, I guess, 8 cameras that are redirected from the local device. And the cool thing is that it doesn't have to be a USB camera. It can be your built-in camera. I was playing with it on my Surface Studio, on my laptop. So it's nice to not have to depend on some sort of USB, and it unlocks a lot more scenarios as you would regularly use your camera. And then also, just within the protocol itself, we wanted to make printing a little bit more visible for the user. Sometimes when you would start to print something, the user would get lost in the void and not know what's happening, and start printing things 2, 3, 10 times because there's no indication that anything's happening. So what we did in the protocol itself, we added basically some benchmarks, some status updates that our client, our MSTSC client, first implements, but it's part of the protocol docs, and we expect all those building on top of it to leverage that as well. So I just wanted to show you some of the stuff I was mentioning with all those protocol investments. So let's do this. So if I have my session to again, my Windows Server 2019, again, expect the same behavior on the Windows 10 1809 release. But if I go here and I go to my device manager, you'll now see this remote desktop camera devices. So that's my built-in camera on my Lenovo. So any of those times where your frontline workers have their cameras or office workers have their cameras, now you'll be able to use that. So as we release the documentation, as we get that ready, we'll enable those commands. Just a couple more strings in your RDP files. How big are those anyways? Save your cameras there. And again, I'm just going to do a simple printing experience as well. No, not project. So I'm actually going to print to my redirected PDF. You'll see some printing icons. And later on when it's done, if you also have the printing notifications there, must have turned them off. If you get printing notifications, it just comes up like any other notification. Because not only did we add the printing notifications as part of the Windows 10 experience, we actually did help and enable just any of those modern notifications. So that extends to other applications, like Outlook, when you get a new mail, all that stuff. So whenever you do get that notification, I guess I must turn it off again. You'll see that in your local session, be able to click it and take the appropriate action. In this case, since I was printing out a PDF on my local device, my local PDF, then it, again, it would have opened up in the Edge browser, since that's my default PDF viewer. So somewhat related to the protocol itself and to the end user experience is this perf-on, these performance counters. How many of you had customers or end users pick up the phone and say, my app is slow? We know that apps and remoting can be a little tricky. So what we wanted to do was make that interaction a little bit more visible. So there are times when the user sees the pixels, they actually input on the local device. It actually gets received by the end session host. And then the session host is actually able to passes it to the application. And it's really that last gap that hasn't had much visibility. So that's what these perf counters do. So that way you can combine these with all the other perfmon counters you might use. You can break it up by processes, so you can perhaps see the CPU percentage and utilization between different processes, or the number of sessions, and see how they might compound, and see how maybe one app is, maybe it is eating up more of the processing and more of the resources than others, and then maybe that's the culprit. So small things like this to make sure that you have the tools and the power to start debugging when you are having these application issues. So this was actually available in the 1803 release, but you had to do some fun registry hacks to light that up. In this case, it's built in, it's default. So again, as I mentioned, and maybe I'll overstress it, but everything we do in Windows 10, 1809, it's reflected in Server 2019 and vice versa. So all the work is going to reach you no matter where you are. So I did want to give a nice summary of basically RDS 2019, some of the investments we're making. So first, again, RDS is a platform. It's flexible to meet your needs. And we're continuing to invest in it. You can take it, again, on-prem, private data center. But also, again, we're also hoping Azure is that primary location. And then you help us drive up that 10%. You've always been able to access your environment wherever you go with our local apps, but we do want to make sure that kiosks and places where you can install the app is another option for users. As you saw, we're making some of the same investments we're making in the local downloadable, installable clients. We're making in the browser with that nice single sign-on experience with printing. So again, we're continuing to invest in all our clients, but now this opens up another option for you. Again, all the protocol, all the investments we're doing will be reflected in whichever Windows experience you connect to. And again, all that stuff that I was showing you with the camera redirection, all stuff is already built into the protocol. So it's just a matter of bringing it to the other clients or bringing it into your own clients as well. And as we want to continue urging you to use Azure and hopefully seeing the value of using RDS in Azure, I showed you the quick site for where we update our RDS ARM templates. We want to, again, invite you to contribute, invite you to help others also see the value of Azure and their managed disks, virtual networks, VNet peering, and all that good stuff. And so here are some of the links directly for what I mentioned. So how to actually set up the web client in your environment. Again, whether it's 2016 or 2019, whether you're in that private preview for the web client, how to upgrade to the full production. In terms of the docs, again, we have our RDS docs. And also, as I mentioned before, with the Windows Virtual Desktop Service, we'll begin to spin up new documentation that will reflect the scenarios, reflect that end user experience and the admin experience. So these are both sites that you want to keep on bookmark. And also our blog. Again, that's where we'll post announcements even as we do those incremental updates for all of the templates and doc sites. So the call to action for you is to continue doing what you're doing with RDS. We know that there's huge adoption of RDS 2016. If you're on RDS 2008 R2 or 2012 R2, we have all these options to get modern and to use RDS, whether, again, it's 2016 or 2019. We're hoping all these benefits, that you'll enjoy all these benefits to use the 2019. Especially because, again, our Windows Virtual Desktop service we're targeting GA for the first half of next year. So if you want to just get started, if there are also folks in this room that aren't familiar with desktop virtualization, then again, these are a great start. And later on today, in another session, we'll show you how easy it is to move from an RDS deployment to that Windows Virtual Desktop service when it's available. So we have 2 sessions today, two more sessions today, with the 10.15 one being a little bit more about that Windows 10 Enterprise multi-session experience. So you might see some of the same RDP stuff, but there's a lot of good stuff that we did. Worked with Office to make it work better in the multi-session environment. So you definitely, I recommend to attend that if you're curious. And then again, getting your workloads up to Azure, we have that session at 11:30. Ultimately, I wanted to leave a lot of time because I do know that my colleague's session is coming up, but I also know that a lot of the questions, especially with the huge announcements this week, a lot of it might be deployment by deployment, configuration by configuration, and I want to make sure we have enough time for that Q&A of what will best serve your needs. Also, as I mentioned earlier, the licensing, especially with Office, they can get a little tricky, I guess. Office did have a huge release of a blog saying this is where Pro Plus is supported, this is where it's not. So I want to make sure we have time for that. But here is the typical eval. So as you finish today, feel free to fill that out. But otherwise, I did want to leave it up to, really just up to you to Q&A. So thank you all for attending a 9 a.m. session on a Friday. So yeah, if you want to do Q&A, you can use the mics. That way everyone can hear.
Hello?
Yep.
Is there improved USB support as well? We have some applications that print labels, like UPS labels, and they work for Citrix, but they haven't been working for RDP.
Got it. I mean, we continually are improving. I guess it'd be good to reach out because I would like to know more of the details on what that delta is. But I mean, we always are improving, so it'd just be good to hear maybe those details later.
Hello.
Hi there.
I think the web client is the most exciting change that's come to RDP, and as long as I know RDP. But it's like you said, it's limited. And what's the roadmap for using Azure AD authentication with that and Azure AD application proxy?
Sure. So we are in discussions with the team, especially because Azure AD application proxy is ideal for remoting web pages or proxy web pages, and web client is one. So we are in discussions with them. There's some of the implementation details that we've hit. So yeah, we are in discussions.
Any roadmap at all about it?
Yeah, I mean, it's also, we've noticed that on their side, this is one of their top scenarios. So it's just a matter of when can we actually fix those little details.
Because they do support, what is it, WebSockets or whatever that
Yeah, they now do support WebSockets, so, which is a key implementation detail of our web client.
Okay.
So there still is a mismatch in what they're expecting and what we're sending. So
how about just using Azure AD authentication without using the Azure AD application proxy?
So I'm not sure if we'd bring that straight into the web client. We'd obviously have setup docs that would help you do that. But in terms of straight into the web client, we want to make sure the RDS platform is extensible and can use some of the Azure platform.
Okay.
But we know that for a lot of on-prem folks, that we don't want to enforce a hard dependency, so it's kind of a balance.
Yeah, because if you use it now, you have to log in twice, one to Azure AD, one to the web.
Yeah, so
There's no single sign-on.
Yeah, and it is a balance between, we know that RDS is great for isolated kind of on-prem, non-cloud connected scenarios.
Okay.
So we're aware that we don't always want to enforce the cloud, especially in a more flexible on-premise solution as well.
Thank you.
Yep.
How you doing? Sounds like we're getting a conflicting message from Microsoft. You're telling us to continue doing what we're doing today with RDS, just moving on to Windows Server 2019 version of RDS. But the Office team is telling us that we can't run Office Pro Plus on Windows Server 2019. I understand Microsoft's pushing a lot of other options this week, but for our business case, we need to have our users close to the data for performance reasons, and kind of trying to understand why Microsoft is kind of making these decisions for us and kind of leaving us with not a good long-term strategy.
Sure. We've received similar feedback this week, so it's something we will bring back. It is ultimately kind of what do we as RDS support and what does Office support and how do those integrate? So that is some common feedback we have heard. But yeah, as you mentioned, Pro Plus is supported on the current servers that are supported, but which is the 12R2, 16. But then 2019 would be the Office 2019. And so at this point, I don't know if there's as much else as I can do, but take in your feedback.
All right, great.
Is there anything else aside from the Pro Plus support that you're looking for as well?
That's the biggest conflicting area right now that would prevent us from going to 2019.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Hello. I don't know if I didn't follow enough the RDS parts, but there was talks about having the gateways and so on non-domain joined and have them for multiple farms and different domains and so on. Is that something that is already there in 2019? Is it something that's still on the roadmap, or how does it?
Sure. So back last year when we were talking at Ignite, that was part of our RDMI platform. And so the RDMI, the remote desktop modern infrastructure roles, that's what's evolved and turned into the Windows Virtual Desktop Service. So that domain agnostic multi-tenant gateway, that's part of the service now that they'll be Azure only. For the on-premise scenario, there's still, for the RDS and Windows Server, there's still the domain dependency to talk with AD.
Okay, but that means that is Azure only, and we have a bunch of different environments for developers that need to have external access that are on-premise and that we cannot put in Azure.
Right. So the Windows Virtual Desktop Service is Azure only. So that way, in that case, the VMs have to be in Azure. But for RDS and Windows Server, it could be wherever you need to be.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. Anyone over there? Okay.
This question is about the GPU being pushed back onto the client. Mm-hmm. So we have an environment where we have to go into a DMZ to a terminal server before we then go into our end environment. Mm-hmm. Will the RDP sessions video processing be done on the middle terminal server, or will it actually be pushed all the way back to the client?
In terms of the encoding?
In terms of, you were talking about the GPU stuff was being tuned to what the client can do, not what the
so in terms of the discrete device assignment, all the processing and the encoding happens basically where the end session is occurring.
Okay.
Because that's ultimately what's running the CAD app, that's running the compute. Yeah, whatever computing application or video, and then that gets encoded, that gets passed through the protocol.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Oh, and also if you have any questions specifically on GPU virtualization. We're happy to have some other. Yeah.
Kind of back back to the Azure AD
Sure.
question. In Windows 10, you can do a hybrid join, so you can use
Correct.
an Azure AD login. Is that part of 2019 where we could use a direct Azure AD login to get to the using like the thick client? And
So we still support when you're connecting to VMs that are Active Directory joined. So if you have the hybrid AD setup, that still works as planned. But there is just limited support in terms of launching RAP connection to a strict Azure AD joined device, because it's only MSTSC and it can only come from other devices that are Azure AD joined.
okay.
So that's where you wouldn't be able to use the iOS, Mac, and web client.
Right. The scenario we were looking at is to have a user that was only in our Azure AD and not in, not running through Azure AD Connect. So the user was created in Azure AD, only has identity in Azure AD, and we want to use that identity to log into Server 29.
So
Is that
for that
yeah.
scenario, they still would have to have, because my understanding with hybrid is not that it brings Azure AD users into that environment. It's more of it gives the device an identity in Intune and in your Azure AD. So my understanding is that you'd still have to have some sort of Windows Active Directory user that maps that cloud user.
Okay.
And so I know that the Azure AD application proxy team is working on some tool that will help bring those cloud users down, especially again because they do have some web applications, and even the integration with our scenario, they do have a lot of scenarios where B2B or they have only cloud users that need to connect to some like file shares and stuff. So I know that they're still building some sort of tool, but there would have to be an Active Directory user for any sort of VM logon.
Okay.
Right.
I have two questions. One regarding the PDF printing.
Yeah.
Will that also be supported on the Mac client?
So are you talking about the one from the web client or for the?
No, I saw from the Windows client. You
Yeah,
said that you now have the Windows printing redirect.
Sure. Yeah. So Mac has had the printer redirections as at least as far as I know.
But it doesn't have a PDF one, right? It redirects.
Yeah.
your
So
relative-
I know that Microsoft has our own print PDF driver.
for
So
the Mac.
that's the one that I redirected when I printed.
Okay.
And so I know that one's like a Microsoft implementation.
Oh, I see. Got it.
So if you have to have a specific driver, it should still map over.
Map over.
But that one is specific. Microsoft has the PDF printer. Just
For Windows.
Yeah.
Got it. The second question I have is regarding the changes you guys are making on 2019 to the GPU.
Yeah.
So with the removal of the remote FX and this new implementation that you're doing, do you need a physical hardware GPU, or is it just going to offload it to the GPU that's like on the regular Intel CPUs? Meaning, like, do we need to use like the N series machines in Azure to get?
correct. Discrete device assignment just means that the guest VM that you're running, that you can pass through basically the graphics cards from its host. So in terms of Azure, they do that because Azure Fabric passes through the cards to the NV series VMs. So everything still happens on what you're connecting to.
Got it. So you don't necessarily need to use N series machines to still be able to get a good, just like, let's say for like running Office applications or just regular sort of Windows applications to get the same sort of performance as you did in Remote FX?
If you do use the discrete device assignment, so then you would not. Okay. So yeah, if you want, they have some more information, but
Okay.
yeah, so it wouldn't be the same because yeah.
This is a CSP related question. Will CSP licensing only be available for 2019, or will it work on the previous versions, 2016 and 2012 R2?
Sorry, what was the initial part?
So the CSP licensing that's coming, will that be just for 2019 RDS, or will that also go back to 2016?
So we don't have all the details yet.
Okay.
So we'd have to we have to get back to you on that one.
Okay, cheers.
Yeah, thanks.
Hello.
Hi there.
So OneDrive started doing the files on demand. You familiar? Okay. One of the issues that we have is when a user generates a ton of small files, they'll just actually take longer to sync than like a few big files, right?
Okay.
And by a ton, I mean, let's just say 10 gig of, 1K files or something, right? It's a huge amount. Those can take 10 to 15 minutes to deflate back to the cloud. So if a user does that and then decides to log off, that gets stuck,
Right.
right? So before they started doing files on demand, you could tap into the OneDrive API and write a logoff script that said, is it doing something? Okay. No, it's not doing anything anymore. I'll leave. But with files on demand, we actually get, obviously, there's benefits to that, especially in a VM world, a VDI world. That no longer works, and I'm hoping that your team can work with the OneDrive team to, I don't even care if there's a way for us to tap into the API, set a registry key or something that says, wait for that syncing to finish, and just sit at the log off, like splash screen, processing that until it's done.
Got it.
And that should be an option we should be able to turn on.
And were you using just Windows 10?
Windows 10, Windows 2016, I mean, yeah, it's the same on both. I'm sorry, when I said 2016, it's not, because it's not available.
Right.
Because 1803 or 1809 went GUI-less, or whatever it was. 1709 went GUI-less.
Got it. Okay, yeah, that's totally valid. So also when we were talking to the Office team, so one thing with at least Pro Plus in 2019 is that the OneDrive, at least in Windows 10, 1809, Windows Server 2019, the OneDrive client will install and work even in the Windows 10 multi-session scenario.
Yeah,
and so they mentioned that same OneDrive Sync client, I don't know if that's the one that you're using for 2016, but they mentioned that they were going to have some flavor that will work on 2016 as well. We'd have to follow up with Office, but they mentioned that would be coming.
It's not that it doesn't work,
It's just that,
it's that there's no GUI in 2016, 1709 or whatever, right? So maybe when they release the next version that has a GUI?
We'd have to follow up.
Right, exactly. But really it's the log off thing, the log off hang. I want the log off process to hang until OneDrive finishes syncing back to the cloud so users don't lose their stuff when the data, just the VM decides to destroy itself because it's not being used, right?
Right, yeah, makes sense. All right, thank you. And if other folks don't have any more general questions, we do have the team up here if you want to ask more case-by-case or private questions, I guess. But again, thank you all for coming. I know it's early. I know that my colleague session starts at 10:15. I don't remember the exact location. But it is the multi-session Windows 10. So if you want to stick around, you can. Also, make sure you're ready to go for that one, too, because that has some good stuff. All right, thank you, everyone.